Tom, I don't think you should be done. I think we should continue on this path. I'm serious. Like, I think that's so important. Like, Fred talks about it on Wednesdays where it's a mindset thing, right? But it really and truthfully, guys, how can we help anybody if we can't help ourselves first? Like, that's just an aha moment. And I'm kind of on that journey this year where I'm like, I really just want to start taking care of myself this year, making sure that I do things for me, because as Tom said, as a working mom, like, you end up burning out, and we shouldn't have to experience that. So I have to serve myself first and then serve my people after. So I thought that was amazing. Thank you, Tom, as usual. So guys, Deep and I decided to do an open mic for you guys. Like, we want you guys to come up with any questions, topics. We're an open book, and it's just going to be very collaborative. So if you guys have something that you want to discuss, like, feel free to just get off mute. You can, just start asking questions, or you can throw it in the chat. And we'll go from there. How about you, Deep? You got anything to say?
Yeah, it was a perfect starting what Tom started with. Like, it's very crucial, right? Anybody who knows me knows me. I'm only a giver, not a great receiver. So I had to pause, I think 4 years ago, 3 years ago in my life, and realize that I could be a better giver if I'm a good receiver. And when it came to my personal life and me taking care of my dad and my family and everybody else, I always put everybody first. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way I was built. And I realized my cup is empty. So what do I need to do? If my cup is full, how good can I show up for them? So I realized that almost 3 years ago. It's still tough for me to take time away for myself, but I'm doing it. It's a everyday challenge. It's like going to a gym every day. I keep myself in check. Hey, I'm going to take half an hour and go to lunch. I'm not going to take a call. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to observe my thoughts, my process, my things, what's happening in my business. It could be anything. It could be just family, just discussing with me. And it's difficult, but it's like anything else. It's like making calls or dealing with clients, dealing with sellers. More and more we keep on doing this, make this a daily habit, it becomes a daily habit, and it makes it much easier. Nobody said what we talk on these calls are going to be easy. It might sound easy, but when you implement them, it's very difficult. But if you do it more often, then as Tom talks about, Claire talks about, Liz talks about, this is going to be a no-brainer. Like, simple example I was mentioning earlier, we had like around 18 people on the call. We had an amazing call with Claire on a couple of days ago regarding what we're going to do for the next couple of months. And there were a lot of people from Orlando, a lot of people from all over different states. Nobody called and asked. I gave a really simple nugget to help their community. Everybody wants to do something, but nobody wants to implement it. So when somebody brings that to your door and knocks at it and shows you, and you still don't show up, and out of the whole call, I think there were 90 people on the call, one person called me, how are you doing this, what's going on? And tell you the truth, I'm appreciated to that, because at least we made one impact for one person. One person heard it loud and clear, and I can tell where Delina's head's at, where her heart's at, and that made it all worth it. I was on a call for almost hour and a half hour with her, and I love pouring, and being there for people who are willing to be showing up like we do, right? And it really helps. What we do every day makes it much easier. When Tiffany texts me or call me, I did not even hesitate. I just called Liz and rubbed it in her face that she called me first before she called Liz. That was it. But it was fun. Claire, you want to add in? I know you're waiting. I saw it.
So it's really kind of interesting that I enjoy the fact that Tom leads us to where we will not hit a glass ceiling. We offer nuggets and we allow people the breath to be able to implement those things. There was so much that we handle around this family table each and every morning that blows me away. And what's so interesting sometimes is that we get stagnant, or we get that scarcity mindset, and instead of abundance mindset during this time of year. Now, everybody goes through seasonal fogs, and that is okay to recognize, and it can be powered through. You know, there are all of us on this call that are going through whatever subtle corrections are going on in our lives. However, when we are providing that example of, what does Tom say? Skill set, mindset, and what? Come on, Tom, finish it out for us. You're on mute, dude. And I didn't mute
Habits.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
the habits.
Those habits. I can tell you that Liz can attest to it. From 5:30 to 7:30, I don't answer emails, because I'm doing a daily habit that I've done for years, and it has a dual purpose. It sets me right in my time, and it gives me time with my spouse. I do that in the morning, and I do it in the evening. It's our daily devotions. It's our gratitudes. We share them with one another. It is reading good literature that soothes our souls, and encourages us for another day to take a breath. Even in that smallest sense, if I'm not taking care of me, like what Tom said earlier, or I'm not calling deep to ask questions on how he does certain events at a higher level, who am I really hurting? So I just feel that everything that we bring to the table, you may not like green beans. That's okay. You may be a sweet potato casserole person. Me, I'm a turkey and collard greens and cornbread. Don't get me started. So those things are specific. So when we're encouraging you, and we're giving you the things and the tools that you can use, don't feel pressured to use them all. Whatever is within you that is leading you to make a new habit, to correct a subtle correction in your mindset, ask the questions, find a coach, call a buddy, be accountable. Because right here and right now, in the next couple of years that we're going to go through in real estate, you need to have a buddy, you need to have a coach, because the whole skill set, mindset, and habits will fall off because life will get in the way. Mm-hmm. However, if you develop those habits of reaching out, talking to people, and making sure that you're moving forward on those things, you're less likely to place yourself in a position to be of no purpose to anyone, including your family. Just saying. I'm done.
Thank you, Mom. Honestly, like, you guys are amazing. I have huge mentors in my life, like Tom, Deep, Claire, Tiffany. I think it's important now just to really figure out who your top 5 emergency line people are. I think this is the perfect time to really identify those people and allow them to help you through the hurdles that we all overcome in our lives. Like right now, I don't know how Claire's on this call when her doc is like almost flooded right now. Like, let's be real. And she's here to pour into all of us. So I think it's important just for us to really identify the people that we love and check up on them. But guys, it's very, very heavy right now. I feel like the conversation is very heavy. So let's lighten it up and have some fun with it. Anybody have anything that they want to talk to, anything specific? Deep and I, Claire, Tom, Tiffany, we're all here to help you guys. I want it to be super collaborative. So if you guys have something pertaining to open houses or something specific to a transaction, please, please, please don't hesitate to get off mute, turn your cameras on. Like, we want to see your faces. It's dark out here in Florida, guys. We have like a tropical storm, and it's really dark and heavy and gloomy, and we need to bring some sunshine into this right now. So anyone, please.
Liz, I just want to just piggyback on what you said. It's not about real estate, guys. We're here for you as individuals. So if somebody's going through something that they don't have anybody in their life to share, or something that's holding in their heart, or something that's on your mind, sometimes it's always just throw it out there and just let it off your chest really makes a big difference. I'm one of those horrible at it, only getting better at it because I'm working at it. All my life I've been, me, and I take care of everybody and nobody takes care of me. I don't need anything. I can do everything. And I had to change myself. When you go through these, things in your life as older we become, and you are flexible enough to make those changes. So it's not about real estate. It is about real estate, but at the same time, just want to be here for everybody as family. Like, there's a lot of people from Orlando here. If anybody is going through any issues with the storm that we have, it's not that bad so far. But I don't know what part of town you're in. Claire's, it's pretty bad. And our side, it's not. It's just the rain so far. But overall, it's okay. It's not as bad as what they made it seem like. So it's an open forum. It doesn't have to be about real estate. It could be about anything it's going in your head, anything you're about to spend money on. And you want to, should I do this? Should I do that? I think we have a bunch of experts here who's been in the business long enough, can tell you to save your money or not do it.
Deep, I do have a question. And I don't know if anybody else in the group uses it. I started using OpCity and Ojo for either or. When we use the communication of their system, like when we reach out to the clients through their own system, do those things reflect as if it's coming directly from us, or is it that does it look like it's coming from that company? Because I know I heard you, last time I was visiting you guys, I heard you talking about it with someone, but I didn't get a chance to really absorb the information.
The new portal, I'm not exactly sure how the text shows up, but I think the way they have it organized, it's showing up as it's you. The only reason we emphasize more on using the portal and leaving those messages and making notes in there, that their system grades you, how active you are. End of the day, guys, don't forget, OpCity is in business to make money, not for lead, not for lead or, they want that 35%, whatever they're giving you, or they're charging you at the same time, the lender. So their job is to make sure that you're on top of it. And if you don't post yourself enough in the portal and not make enough notes, I can't emphasize, they'll downgrade you. You would not know that, but in their system, you'll be downgraded. They'll send it to people like, if Liz is there and Liz is calling every day and leaving a message, being very detailed, left a message, text them this, that, no answer yet, but and put a reminder. I'm not even sure how the system looks. And this shit works. I think Alina's on the call. Alina can tell you, there was a year, I think 4 or 5 years ago, we used to use it, maybe longer. And I think 1 year we closed around 8 or 9 deals. It's like nothing else, right? The internet leads, you got to be on top of it. I know circumstances have changed lately, but it is pretty, it's good. It's good enough. And don't forget, OpCity was bought by Realtor.com for almost like $380 million. They're a business. They're not anything else. So they grade you as a business. They look at you as a business. They look at your profile as a business, and it's all of them, like Home Snaps and the one is Homes. Forgot the other one. He keeps on getting me email. I don't update the profile. They all do the same thing now. They're moving towards that platform because it makes it easier from them to track what you're really doing.
This is Lori. I started using them about 3 weeks ago. And the problem I find is that they don't talk to these people at all or screen them before they put the referral out there, like people looking for land that just doesn't exist for $100,000. Rentals, like they gave me a rental one the other day. $3,000 a month, but the guy wanted it for 2 weeks. He wanted a 2-week rental. We can't rent anything for 2 weeks. Yes, I asked him if eventually he wants to buy here or, but his daughter's an equestrian, blah, blah, blah. So I'll put him in my CRM and I let them know, OpCity, that they need to qualify the call better. That's not something a realtor can do in our area for a 10-day rental, so do you find Do other people find that they're getting like these really ridiculous requests for rentals that don't exist, or really low price points that don't exist?
Yeah, that's why it's called internet leads. People are clicking, happy clicking right, left, and center, and all these leads come from realtor.com, Zillow, other marketing forms, no different than what other agents do, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So they funnel in. Your job is to do a discovery call. You can't expect every call to be qualified before it comes to you. And if they're going to be doing that, why won't they have their own brokerage in-house and take 50% of the commission, not 35? So you need to go change your profile. If you don't want rental in your area, take it out of there. I think there's an option there. You're going to get random calls. I get random calls even when I don't market to people. They're like, oh, I'm looking for something for 1 week. I'm like, oh, wrong person. But let me direct you to the right people. And that's it. Leave it at that. I know it sounds frustrating and it's easy. Easy
I
for me
didn't want to say no to rentals because then your score goes down. So I don't mind doing
No, it
rent.
doesn't. You're
Yeah.
not working on it will affect your score than not taking rentals.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, yeah, you guys need to watch. There must be a lot of videos out there that they talk about these kind of things. And if they ever do any kind of training, please be on those training, because they give you all these nuggets, what to do, what not to do. You know, I have agents who got almost $20 million freaking listing, a buyer, you know, they missed it. Somebody else got it. And they were looking at something in Dr. Phillips on the water, I think 18 million or $19 million. So leads are legit. They're numbers game, guys. End of the day, what we say, and Tom and Claire can tell you, they've been in the business longer than I have, and it's 100 leads. If you can convert 3 out of hundreds, you are doing an amazing job. So if you're expecting 5 out of out of 10 leads, it's impossible to do. So the numbers are 2.5 to 3% or return. It sounds harsh, it sounds too much, but that's what this business is. Let's jump in.
And I was going to say, and I think that's why you will hear all of us preach database, sphere of influence and things like that, because when we're looking at the numbers of the people that we have in our database, our conversion rate should be a lot higher. So for every 100 people, if I'm not mistaken, you should, for 100 people that you have in your database, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're supposed to close at least 12 a year. So that, those numbers should be a lot higher. So when you're in, these are people that already love you, know you, and trust you, where if you but when you're doing these cold leads on Opcity, Zillow, and things like that, yes, we know that they're in the market for real estate. They're clicking away. However, you have to build that trust, that rapport, and things like that with those people when you already have that with the people in your database. So yes, you guys know my story. I moved to Florida not knowing a single soul, and I had to build a business around it. And I was on a team who focused on leads and things like that, and that was okay. But in order for me to grow my business to where it is now, I had to talk to people and build relationships with people. And now I'm starting to see the benefits of that. Heather, my girl, has a question. So I'm like, I love when Heather speaks.
Well, it's just kind of a spin-off of what you're talking about. Has anybody in the group done Home Story? I just took the Home Story training, and it's basically Opcity, but it's specifically for EXP agents. So I just took it yesterday, and it was a really good training, but I just wondered if anybody has actually used the program.
I haven't, Heather. Do we have to go on Workplace to find this, or is this just something we can Google?
Well, I on Workplace, and I saw it in the affinity group. I don't know if it's something new from EXPCon, but it popped up for a training, and so I took it. And it's a little bit more stringent requirements than Opcity. Like, you have to have been an agent for 2 years, and I think Opcity, they kind of let you in whenever. So I'm just wondering if anybody had used it and how it worked.
No idea, Heather. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to look into it myself. Especially with the market shift, we are all going to emphasize on those kind of leads.
Hey,
guys,
Tiffany. Can we reach out to Robert and see if he knows more information? Because he's been well up on all of the new trainings and stuff within the Infinity family. So can we reach out to him for Heather and see what that is, please? And Heather, drop the name of that in the chat real quick so that Tiffany can pass it on to Robert. Sorry, Deep.
No, you're okay. It's going back to another couple of people having conversations in the Heather, is that the right one I shared? Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, it doesn't say, I mean, anything on the front page doesn't have any EXP on it, but they might have some kind of a partnership with them. Going back to what somebody said in the chat, don't forget these leads are free. They're free till you close them, so it doesn't cost you any money. It's a time and effort, guys. So normally you go pay for Zillow, you spend $500-600 a month, and you get all these similar leads, and you got to work on it, and it's costing you money. So take a different approach to it. It's, when somebody calls me and says, oh, I got a referral for you, I don't even hesitate. I'm like, what is it? Where is it? What they want? I call. Why? I don't have to do anything. Already got a hot lead, ready to cook, ready to take out, show, and I go through the discovery conversation, and then I let them know, hey, this guy's not even ready, nowhere near it. Thanks for the lead, but I'll let you know if they come back. So don't think internet leads and opportunities and these are all bad. They are going to be bad. It's like your buyers, right? Liz has some great buyers who show up at the closing table with fake documentations or before closing tables. So we do our best to streamline them, but at the end of the day, there are people out there who think they can really scam the system, but eventually they get caught. Heather, thanks for sharing that. That was a great nugget.
I have a question. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So since we're talking about leads, I have actually two questions. I was talking to a client that came to one of my open houses, and he kind of was talking about commission. And then I kind of rephrased the question. I said, what are you talking about commission? He says, yeah, if I buy this house, you're gonna make this commission, whatever. And I was like, yes, but you don't pay the commission. The seller will be paying the commission for the realtors. And then he kind of implied that if I'm gonna be taking some commission, that I should be giving him some of my commission. So I know, Liz, I know how you think. I just want to put it out there because I know that people will actually come up to you and give you that. So at that moment, in my mind, I just stepped back and I said, I don't think I want to deal with people like this. So in your experience, have you experienced things like that? And tell me how to handle. That is question number one. And question number two is, I have some of my family that actually have said, yeah, I have some people who's moving from New Jersey and New York over here. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk to them about you. What's going to be in it for me. So I know that, it's not a problem for me to share something. I just want to do it the right way, because here we're dealing with family, which I don't like to do business with family. So have you been in that situation, and how do you handle that as well?
Can I say something? Because
Yes, I was going to say, Tom, go right ahead.
I'm like fidgeting right now, Kenya. Great questions, by the way. Number one, ask your family, say, you are not licensed, and if I pay you, I'm committing a felony. Are you okay with that?
I did that. I already went that way, and then my aunt backed out and said, so what should I tell you who's buying houses and whatever? And then inside of me, I was like, but you're my family. I'm just starting this business. So you should be helping me. So, but I don't want to get into that. So I don't know if I should just let that go, ignore that, or continue and try to give her, I don't know. I just don't know.
Kenya, the best thing that you can do, is say, this is my profession. I will not do anything illegally or break that for anyone. And if that means you send in the referrals to someone else, so be it. And then the other ones who ask for a commission back that are buyers, the first thing I ask them is, why do you feel that I would be giving you money back if we're not working together yet? And then the second thing I would ask them is, hey, I need a favor. Would you mind sharing half of your salary with me this year just because I helped you buy a home? No, we don't do that. So I would prefer that you worked with the agent at ABC Realty that's discounted, that has no desire to grow a business, and they'll give you poor representation as well. So let me give you some of their names.
Okay.
Maybe
I
that's
just,
not the best advice from me, but that's what I personally would do. Hey, there's a great agent over at Gaff's Realty. They don't really treat their customers very well, and they're more than willing to give half of their commission back and misrepresent you. So let me give you their name and number.
Love that.
thank you. Same thing happened. I was showing one of the new build to another client, and he knew that we were getting a $5,000 bonus from this builder. So he said, if I buy this house from you, can I have half of that $5,000? So, you know, I guess, I don't know if the vibe that I'm, you know, just sending is probably that I'm new. I don't say anybody that I'm new. I act very professional, and I take all my trainings and classes, and I, you know, and I think I, you know, do a good job anyways, but there are all these people that are doing that. So I was like, oh my God, this is a cutthroat business. How am I going to handle this?
There's a great word that you can say, right? And it doesn't need an explanation or anything. It's, no, I'm not allowed to do that per my broker.
Okay.
Hey, so before, if this is happening consistently in your buyer and seller consults, are you telling them before they even have a chance to ask you that this is something that comes up oftentimes and it's a no?
No, I don't bring that up because I don't want to give them that hint.
Okay, I know what has worked for me in the last couple of years in coaching my clients is making sure I'm setting expectations that are clear, what they can expect from me and what I expect from them in return up front. So those difficult conversations are avoided. And if they still come up, then come up with another solution. But for me, I think I would start incorporating that in the front end, that's not going to happen if it's happening time and time again to you.
Okay.
Oh, I
Kara,
love when
great
Kara
point.
talks.
Expectations is critical, because it, as Kenya said, she didn't want to put that out there, but setting the expectations up front is critical, especially if she's getting hit with that often. Great point.
And can I add to that as well? Because, you know, this is a great conversation and it seems to be that we're going through this. One of the ways, and Liz can attest to this because she's heard the conversations, is this: I do give friends and family discount. I don't have a problem with that. If we're listing a house, I list it at 6.5 instead of 7. End of story. So if they want and enjoy meeting and exceeding that expectation when it comes to friends and family and the referrals for that and what they're going to receive, I turn that objection into an opportunity to ask more questions. Why is that important to you? And in your profession, do we get to reciprocate the same thing? I ask the question back to them to put it in perspective, because a lot of times they're thinking that all we do is put a sign in a lockbox or we show them homes and then our job is done. They don't realize that there's 270 jobs in that breath of life. Okay. So Carrie, you're exactly right, is understanding the expectations of the people that we're speaking in front of, meeting their DISC profile and asking them those questions instead of it being a defensive breath. Oh my God, what do I do now? Lean in and say, why is that important to you? Let's do this together. Go ahead, Deep.
Going back to the family aspect of family knows you're in the business new. They know you're desperate. I hate to say it, I'm going to be very raw and straightforward. They know you need a transaction. Maybe they know your situation better than we do, or so they know where you're coming from. I've been through this situation. I don't like dealing with family. I can tell you that much. I try to avoid them as a plague, as COVID. But the way I get back to them is I do so much good around them that they go to an event, people talk about, oh, Deep just did a deal for me. That was $4 million of property. We were under contract for 16 months. He was on top of his shit. You know, now I hear that from my family members. I was at an event and this builder brought it up in front of like 50 other people, and there must be $1 billion in that room, and saying, Deep did this, and everybody's looking at everybody, and everybody knows me, and they call me the next day. I got like 8 calls next day. I don't share my shit. I don't share it on social media. I don't talk it. I let the buyer do the talking, the seller do the talking. It's their property. My job as a professional is to do an amazing job, show up the best way, take from the start to finish. Forget about everything else in the middle. I know we're in the business to show off and say, oh, I sold this and list this, that, this. It's not our job to do that. It's good to share that. But at the same time, some people want to be private. Half our deals never show up on social media because they want to be private. We want them to make that announcement. We want them to be the microphone for them. Oh, how'd you get this deal? Oh, Deep and Alina helped me. Oh, now they do all the legwork. I know you're going to have these conversations. This is the conversation we had initially. Don't get me wrong. I do some discounts for my investors. These are consistent investors who buy average 8 to 10 properties a year. When it comes to that, it's a formula that we put together and makes sense because we don't have to really make them work it. They're easy transactions. They pay cash. I don't have to chase them for make sure they submit the paperwork. They don't care about inspection. They don't care about a lot of things. When it comes to somebody meeting you at an open house and telling you that question, I would say, hey, why would I negotiate my commission? This is what I'm here to take you from start to finish. I want to make sure your contract's right, your inspection goes through. I'm going to negotiate through that appraisal, everything else. You say, if I start negotiating on my own commission, how well am I going to do for you? Would you go find a cheaper doctor who has who charges a little bit less, or you're going to go to the best doctor there is? You got a heart issue. Would you go to a specialist who do this 100 times and charges $10,000 more? Or would you go to somebody who's done this twice and charges $5,000 less? I know it's easier for me to say it. I know you're thinking in your head that, you've been doing this for 17 years. This is so simple for you to say it. Trust me, you got to create your guidelines. You got to create these bumpers. These are bumpers that you're going to create now. It's going to stick with you. And forget the family. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're sharing, you're closing. Eventually, they're going to come and say, hey, can you help these people? You're doing such a good job. Go ahead, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say, so if you guys follow me on social media, you know that I support all kinds of small businesses. I'm always sharing things like that. So I'm out there promoting your business. So I'm not doing it with the expectation that you have to promote me. However, I've had family come up to me and like, hey, can you list my house for 4%? And I'm like, absolutely not. This is my fee. And this is what it is, because if you think I'm like, or I'll do it for 4%, but I'm not doing the open houses. I'm not doing the marketing. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I will put the sign in the yard and treat you like any other ABC realtor out there that's not going to put in the work to get your house sold. So which would you rather have? Oh, yeah, this is my business. I don't play with my business, because you're not going to give me half of your check, just because I referred you business or whatever the case is. You cut that and you nip that shit in the butt ASAP. I'm sorry. You guys know I'm very direct, and that just, that got me angry. I know Ruth had her hand up, and then Kara, I know you had your hand up some time ago. So I just want to make sure really quick that if you needed to say something, that you were able to get off of mute.
Shall I go first? Okay, I would say my experience, one of my first transactions that I had, I was able to door knock a for sale by owner, and the house that they had for sale on the listings, they have already put it pending. So the house in front of it, they said they were planning on selling it. So the reason why I was asking the for sale by owner is because I was trying to get my sister-in-law the house, and sell by owner didn't want this. The owner didn't want to give me commission. So I honestly, I was doing this for my sister-in-law. I didn't care what I got from it because I wanted her to get what she wanted. I didn't think of it as money wise, but I ended up getting it for 2%, which is lower than what I would expect, but it was whatever, I was able to get something out of it. So, she got the house much lower than, the appraised value was 340. She got it for 200. She's super happy, but at the end of the day, she didn't want to give me a review till like 6 or 8 months later. After that, she doesn't even want to she didn't want to give me the recognition that I was the one that helped her get the house. And yeah, she posts things, she helps me, but it just comes to where, I didn't care what was going to come out of me to help the family, but if they don't, sometimes they don't return the favor, and it's just best to keep your, how would I say, your line of what you're willing to do, but keep your professional line, like in the sense of don't go lower than what you would go for anybody else, because you can't expect the same thing from them.
Here's my thing, and I'm going to say this very, very clear across the board. Do you go to your barber and ask him for a discount when you get a haircut? Do you go to the nail salon and ask for a discount? Do you go get your car service and ask for a discount? No. So if you are not going to go ask any other person for a discount, why the hell are you asking me for one? So sorry, I said the H. Yeah, I think I cursed twice on here. I'm sorry. But all jokes aside, guys, if you are not going to go and ask someone else for a discount openly and all the time, why are you asking me for one? What I do tell my people is, hey, if I'm going to list your property and I find the buyer, I'll give you a discount on commission because I'm going to dual side it. That's the discount you give if you're going to dual side it. Do not discount your commission, guys. I know we all come across times where we have to give a realtor credit or something like that, once in a blue, and that's fine. However, coming right from the beginning and the get-go, do not allow people to, do that, because what's going to happen is then you do it once and then it's going to come consistently. You do not want to be that discount realtor because you're not representing yourself as a discount realtor. So that's what I would have to say to that, Kenya. I think everybody would agree with me when I say that, like, just set your expectations, let people know how to treat you, and you won't have any problems. And because it's coming up consistently, like Kara said, during your buyer and seller consultations, set that expectation right then and there so you won't have that problem again.
Thank you.
Drops Mike.
Ruth, going back to what you said was, it's pretty sad that you did the right thing and try to do the right thing. And this is the way I look at it, and maybe I'm looking at it very wrong. Just imagine what she's going through in life to make you feel that way.
I mean, I don't think she's really
Trust me, she
spiteful. It's
does.
more, I just know that the moment I got this profession, which that's why maybe Kenya might feel the same way. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I think it's everybody. Once you get into this profession, they assume that you have this big paycheck and you're gonna make a lot of money, but they don't realize all the expenses that comes with it. Like, for an example, I'm just gonna throw a number in. Like, you can make 50K a year, but like 10K might be for marketing, for signs, for this, for that, and then you have to pay 25 to 30%. I don't know how much percentage, because my first year, for taxes. So at the end of the day, you're not gonna make that actual 50K that you thought you were gonna make. You're making much less, like a normal, like a job. But they don't see that. They see the paycheck that you make that specific transaction, and they think that you're balling.
Yeah, but this is where you come with, right? People look at me and they say, oh, I drive a fancy car, I do this, but amount of time and effort I put in my business, that's what I get out of it. So it's no different than you. I mean, maybe you're not doing a good job explaining that to them, that what it takes to be an agent, an agent mom on top of that. I could hear the baby in the background. So, you're hustling, going showings, doing inspections, going this. And at the end of the day, you got to pay taxes. You don't have your freedom at the same time have a job. So no different like anybody else. I personally think she's going through whatever she's going through. She might be jealous because what you are able to achieve, having a baby and doing the job. It could be anything. Don't let these kind of things hold you down. Do it. Just keep your head straight. Put the blindfolders on. I keep on saying that to everybody on the call. Be like a horse on the race. Don't look right, left. Just look forward. Keep on doing exactly what you're doing. You did the right thing. End of the day, you can go to bed and feel good about it. That's all.
Oh yeah, trust me, I don't feel bad. It's just to let Kenya know that's sometimes families are just not gonna, they're not gonna be 100% supportive, and you just have to just let it go and just keep going, because just do your job, do it right, and that's it.
And Kenya, going back to you, you're gonna have these kind of conversations. I do it even today. I have family members who call me like, "Oh, this guy's gonna want something." I'm like, "What is he gonna want? He hasn't even talked to me yet. Why am I gonna even discuss anything yet? I don't even know if he can afford a bicycle. First of all, he's already talking about a damn commission back." I just laugh at them. I'm like, "Do you print shirts before knowing what you're gonna print? You got a $30 million business a year. Do you know exactly when Disney sends you, you just give them price? No, you look at the art, you look at the colors, you look at the t-shirt quality, you look at the size, you look at how many pieces you're gonna get. And then you make that decision. How am I supposed to make that effing decision right away? Trust me, you will be better off not dealing with these people. Trust me, the energy or the drain, they're gonna drain you. You're better off using that energy somewhere else. You're gonna get tenfold. Tom's laughing his tail off.
I get it. It's just so sad because we are getting trained to work you a sphere of influence, and my family is huge. I have a lot of family, and they could actually be a great supporter of my business. But again, it's true. If I do it for one, I'm going to have to continue doing it for the rest of my life for everybody else, and then it's going to be hard to stop.
What about doing something different? Have you done a event or a family gathering and doing it like some kind of a get together? It's your way of showing appreciation and saying you're in this business, and that's all it is. Hey, invite them for dinner at home. Hey, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sending me Tom. He bought a house. I really appreciate you, and I really want to invite you at home. And I really want to, make this a special evening. It's not all about money. Sometimes you'll be surprised what people really want. Just a thank you note or even a dinner takes you a long way.
Oh, no. My end was very specific. She wants money. She in her mind, she just saw a house in New Jersey, and she said, "You know how much this guy made?" And she was telling me about the commission. I said, "No, and that doesn't work that way." And then I started explaining to her how the commission gets split. And she was like, "No, you're wrong." And I was like, "Who's the realtor here?" So anyway, that's how it is. But anyways, I will try to limit that because I really don't want that type of stuff in my life.
Ask her, say, how much money are you wanting?
And
ask her, say, how much money are you wanting? Okay, perfect. I'm going to give that to you. Where do I send the 1099? Can you give me a W-9? Because I'm going to give you a 1099 at the end of the year so you can pay taxes. You have to pay taxes on it because it's coming out of my income. So I have to show at the end of the year where that money's going.
Oh, that's a great way out. Thank you, Tom. That's a great way out because she will not.
Do you mind if I need a W-9 so I can send you a 1099 at the end of the year for, because we can legally pay, let me rephrase that. We can legally do a gift back to a buyer or a seller as long as we're working with them. Buyers only if it's acceptable through the lender. Sellers, it's okay. As long as it's on the closing statement, it's okay. And then tell them you're going to be giving them a 1099 at the end of the year. See what
Excellent.
she says.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that's just that
or
one
just say
person.
no.
I was going to say, that's
Or
just
work with
that one
someone else.
person that is bringing you down. Don't allow one person in your family to what's it called, to take it for everyone else. Even though, don't get me wrong, I know what you mean, because we all have family members like that. But once you put that one person in place, like, hey, like, I am not giving you back money, and it has nothing to do with me being greedy or anything, X, Y, and Z. Once you set that expectation, all the conversations moving forward are going to be a lot easier. So it's just overcoming this one in order to have everyone else in their place, if you will.
I have to say
Karen,
something on that too.
Yeah, go
So
ahead,
when I
Anita.
first started, this is now my second year and I'm in Florida, and I always say that I don't have much family here, but I actually have a biological dad and his sister here. But Kenya, this is kind of what somebody had once told me, like, don't be disappointed to see your family not be supportive. Like, for whatever reason, their mental, like, it's like if you were a doctor, do you think that they would go to you for you to be their doctor? And if they wouldn't, why? Maybe they just feel like it's a little too personable, right? Like they don't want you to know all of their mix or their taxes. Sometimes they don't want you to know those personal mix. So it's nothing really like on you. I mean, obviously she's asking for money, so this is a little different of the situation, but kind of what Liz was saying, not to let the one discourage you. Because to be honest with you, I felt the same way with my family. I was getting into real estate. They all knew that I moved here from Nebraska to do real estate. And then all of a sudden my grandma's like, yeah, I'm opening my own brokerage and I'm going to have, your cousin come in. You should. And I'm like, okay, okay, cool. I get it. One time my dad reposted a picture of me and it just so happened to have my contact information. A lender on his page found me, and I am currently closing on a listing because of it. So I feel like it kind of goes like both ways. But definitely don't let the discourage. But I have grit too. I just wanted to say thank you, Liz. Thanks, Steve. You guys were awesome this morning. It was so good to hear from everybody. I hope everyone's safe. Everything's good. But yeah, happy Thursday.
Thank you very much, everyone, too. I have great too, so I have to go. Bye.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about working with family. I mean, I had my own sister and mother list with another realtor when I was an active realtor, and because it was my sister's friend and she just felt like she was the best agent in that city, and needless to say, we don't really have a relationship much anymore. And she has never referred one person to me in real estate, in travel, ever. It's just the way family could
Wow.
be, and it's awful. But I get asked all the time to give back commission, especially in the travel business. And I posted a quote that I keep by my desk because I've used what Tom said. Are you willing to give me back your paycheck after you've done a great job at work all month? Would you give me your paycheck? It's ridiculous that people could ask you for your pay because you're on commission, and they think you make so much money. Like you said, if you break it down and you stand your ground and just put those limits up front, that's what you have to do. And you have to, self-care. You have to respect yourself. You have to honor yourself. You have to love yourself enough that you are important. Your income's important and it doesn't belong to anyone else. That's all.
I totally agree with that. Great call, guys. I'm glad we got some stuff off people's mind and chest they were holding on to. These are very common things we all go through, especially when you guys are new in the business. Nobody wants to be the guinea pig. Even the families don't want to be the guinea pig, right? So it's always, I always recommend anybody who joins us or joins our team that use us as your leverage. Hey, I'm part of Deep's team. Deep's he makes sure everything's done right. He's been in the business 17 years, and I've said that maybe a couple of hundred or 1,000 times on this call. Anybody in Orlando can use me, call me, abuse me, whatever you want to do with it. Because I'm here to do that. If somebody calls me, Heather says, hey, I'm calling to this person and you want to be on the call, I'll make sure I'm there. I'll make sure the time matches for everybody's schedule, and beyond there, support you as a team member. Same goes with Kenya. It's like Kenya's got George and everybody else. You got to leverage those people. You got to let them know I'm part of this, George Philback's team. I have a big support around me. That whole, as soon as you say those things, people back up, because they realize that you're part of a team. So teams have structures, teams have restrictions, and teams controlled by somebody else. So it's not you making the decision. Anything else, guys? I know it's 9:30. We still have 27 people on the call. Thanks for staying on. I know it was a random conversation, but sometimes random is good.
Ruth.
So on another note, I mean, before we got into this conversation, what are other referral programs that you guys would recommend? Because I use OpCity, I do use EXP referral system. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do my own, do the own work of sphere of influence. I do cold calling, I go to the community, I do all that stuff, but I'm trying to get the most business I can. Do you guys know any other referral programs? Because I really don't want to be paying
I think
anymore.
Ojo is one of them. And there's one more, home spots or home something. There are a few of them out there. I think we might even have somewhere on the GPS. Liz, do you know anybody?
Not really, because most of the referrals that I do with people are agents that I've worked with, like, back in the past. So like I have a lot of Philly agents, a lot of New Jersey agents and things like that. So it's more that relationship that I've met at different conferences that I'm like, okay, I know who to talk to kind of thing in different areas. So unfortunately, other than like the social media platforms, like in those different referral groups, the EXP ones, the GPS ones, that's really it for me out of it.
Yeah, I think it's
So
Home
sorry.
Light. Mike was right. It was Home Light. Home Light is one of the other ones that you can use. They're very similar to, I think there's some requirements there, how many transactions you've done, some kind of thing, but overall, there are a bunch of them. If I could come up with other ones, top of my head, I'll let you know for sure.
Any last minute things, guys, or do you want to wrap up and go to after party? Entirely up to you. Oh, we had people there. Okay.